Welcome, class of 2025. If we were in the auditorium, we would be all giving you a round of applause. Unfortunately, again, these are very difficult circumstances, and we hope that the fall will bring some normalcy and we will be able to see you in person. We are very excited to have you join us here at Maine West High School. Let us begin your high school journey by covering some important information about high school registration and what you need to provide in order to be fully enrolled here at Maine West High School for the fall of 2021. So let's begin with the counselors and the role of counselors in here in high school. Our middle schools do not have a school counselor, so you may be a little bit unfamiliar with what counselors do and the role in your child's high school career. Counselors are here to help support you and support your child in three areas: academics, career and college, and social emotional. For that reason, it's very important that the students and the counselors develop a good working relationship and a trusting relationship. Counselors stay with your child for the 4 years they're going to be in high school. So they have plenty of time and opportunity to get to know each other really well, their likes, dislikes, their dreams, their hopes, so they can guide them throughout their high school career. They need to ensure that they are progressing the way that they should in keeping up with all of the graduation requirements and that they're working to their highest potential. They're also here to help address any personal and social emotional concerns that they may have. It can be something as simple as not getting along with a friend or having a difficult time adjusting to high school. So it's important that the counselor is there to support that social emotional journey with your child. And last but not least, counselors are here to advocate. They pride themselves, and we all pride ourselves of being the advocates for our students. And we understand that as parents, you are probably your child's best advocate. So we're here to partner with you and provide that advocacy by serving as the liaison between you, the parent, and the teachers and the administrators in this building. And of course, last but not least, as I mentioned before, it's not just academic progress, but it's also your child's career goals. As you're going to hear later from this presentation from Ms. Manning, one of the partners that we have for the career development for your child. She is our college and career admission specialist, and she works alongside with Ms. Kayla Hanson to provide career experiences and opportunities for your child. So counselors work also with Ms. Manning and Ms. Hanson to provide our students the career opportunities that they want in order to pursue their academic and career goals in the future. So as we continue, let's talk about then what is it that we are going to have to do in order to bring our kids to Maine West High School and have these wonderful things happening for them academically, career, and socially. Well, we need to start with registration. And it's very important that we understand that registration is more than just course selection or what we used to call course registration. Registration really involves 5 steps. And it's important that we know those 5 steps. It really starts with the online registration. Think about online registration as matriculation. It continues again with the course selection process, then with you having to prove residency in our district. That means that you live in our district boundaries, and also by providing the proof that your child has had a physical and all of their vaccinations are up to date. And finally, it ends with having to pick up the instructional materials and pay fees for those instructional materials. So we'll go through the steps one by one so we understand how this process works. Let's start with the first step. So first will be that online registration. Online registration is extremely important. As I mentioned before, think of it as matriculation. This is where you confirm confirm all your demographic information, such as your address, phone numbers, email addresses. And also you have the opportunities to let us know your language preference, who is your emergency contact, any type of medical conditions your child may have that you want us to know about. So this step, again, is the first step that needs to happen. You will be receiving an email in early December with the online registration link and the instructions on how to complete online registration. And that window will close in mid-January. That window will be right there closing when you are scheduling or you are having those meetings to select courses with your counselor and your child. So it's very important that this online registration is completed right before those meetings or as you are scheduling those meetings, so the counselor can move on with the course selection process. Step 2, the course selection process. You will be able to set up a course selection appointment with your child's counselor. A course recommendation form, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes, yellow one, is going to be sent home. This course recommendation is going to have all of the courses that the counselor is recommending your child to take here at Maine West High School. Then you would also receive a letter attached to that course recommendation form with instructions on how to set up those appointments. We use a system, the same system that we use to have parent-teacher conferences to schedule these appointments. So we would also post these instructions in the Student and Family Services website under enrollment. Let's go over the course recommendation form and the course selection appointments in more detail. So this is the course recommendation form. As you see, it's a gold form. It has two parts. The first portion of the form, the top portion, is where the counselors are going to be circling the core courses your child is recommended to be taking in the fall. These core courses are in math, science, English, and social sciences. Then you will also see below those core courses some of the elective courses that we offer here at Maine West High School. Some of them may be circled or highlighted for you. That is because your child may be in a world language program in the middle schools, or they may be playing an instrument, they may be in choir. And of course, we just recommend that they continue with some of those programs here at Maine West High School, but by no means that has to be the case. This is the opportunity for your child to select elective courses that fulfill them, that they have passion for, and of course that they can help them explore career possibilities. So as you can see, we are going to want students to select 2 elective courses. So here is in the bottom portion of the form, you and your child will be writing the elective courses they want to take. And we want you to also give us 2 other elective courses in case their major preference, those first 2 cannot be scheduled, or one of them can be scheduled but not the other. What would be another elective that you and your child will be very happy with and very comfortable with? Please, it's very important that you choose elective courses that you really want to take. We have had in the past students who select their priority 1, priority 2, and then they tell us, no, I really don't want that class. I just put it there for just to have something. So you have plenty of time. By the time you receive this course selection process, you receive a handout explaining how all the different descriptions of all our electives. You'll be able to watch a video. All these things are going to happen with plenty of time for you to select the right elective for you and your child. So how do we make course recommendations? I know many parents are saying, okay, Claudia, so your counselors are sending me, my counselor, the courses that my child should take circle. How are those course recommendations? Well, we take a look at your MAP scores and a range. We don't look for one number. This is not like that. We look at a range of your MAP scores We also look at your grades and attendance and some soft indicators, your performance in middle school. But also we look at to see what type of opportunities you have had in the middle school to either get some supports and or get some acceleration and or some giftedness in any of the programs. So based on that, we take all that information, it's very holistic, and we then make the recommendations for your placement here at Maine West High School. So I want you to look, as you're going to see in the next slide, how we we take all that information and the information that the department chairs have provided to counselors for the guidelines for those cutoff scores, that range of scores that we can look. And then we look at the core courses. We look then at what electives you may want, with the whole purpose of being able to schedule your child for 6 classes plus physical education. We encourage and we want students to take at least 7 courses. Again, 6 core classes with PE. In the next slide, we'll go over a sample schedule, but I wanted to call attention to the fact that we would not want to make any schedule changes in the fall. So you will have access to the course selection after the schedules are set for your child. And if you find that there is a mistake, there's an error, something happened, your child changed their mind about something, let the counselor know so we can take care of the schedules before we leave for summer break. Even during the summer, some counselors are here that can help answer questions. But again, as much as possible, we want to avoid having to make too many changes in the fall. So once you have your course recommendation form, you would also have, again, that letter explaining how to make those counselor appointments. Counselor appointments will be 15 minutes in length. And the whole idea is that you're going to have that great opportunity to sit with your child, yourself, and the counselor, and talk about, so what are your passions? What are your dreams? What are your career goals? And I know they're 14. Many of them may not know exactly what they want to do after they graduate from high school, but it's a conversation so we can help them decide what are the best electives and also help them decide what is the best balance when it comes to scheduling here at Maine West, and how they can, again, have the best experience here at Maine West High School. So those appointments, as you can see, are going to be happening on January 19th, the 21st, and the 25th. And we will have some morning, afternoon, and evening appointments available. So once you get that letter and you follow the instructions, you will be able to make those appointments with the counselor. And I want to make sure that I'm not forgetting anything. And we're going to now go to what should you have with you during that meeting with a counselor. So it's very important that you have your child. And I know you may be laughing right now, like, really? Yes, really. I have had many parents that come to the appointments with a counselor and they do not bring the child. We want, again, to have a conversation with your student about what is it that they want here in high school. And this is about them. And so we want to talk with them, not at them or without them. And the other things that we would want you don't have to have them, but if you happen to have the MAP scores for the winter and those are better MAP scores, or you have report cards or anything else that you want to have with you, we understand, again, these meetings are virtual. Unfortunately, we will not be able to have them in person, but still, you can have those things in front of you and you can talk to the counselor about the latest score and the best placement for your child. In the past, you would bring your birth certificate or passport, and of course, you're not coming in person, so you will not bring it. Later in this presentation, I'll let you know when it would be a good idea for you to mail that to us or just come to Maine West and drop it off. So I said before, okay, we want 6 classes plus PE. So let me show you a typical student schedule. So freshmen again have to take English, math, science, and social sciences. The typical math class is math one. Some students may be in math two, but the typical one is math one. The typical science class is biology. Typical social science class is world cultures. And again, English is English one. It could be English one or English one accelerated. So students have the ability to take two elective courses. As you can see here in this example, however, one of the students is scheduled for what we call the foundations of problem solving in mathematics. That means this student was recommended to take two periods of math classes. That might be because math is not their strongest area and we need extra supports to put them in the right track for mathematics so they can again have the 3 years and the preparation that is required for their future careers. So because the student has foundations of problem solving, this student can only take one elective class. If the student is also recommended for a reading class, the student wasn't, you would need to talk to the counselor because you can decide as a parent, as a student, not to take either science, biology, or the world cultures class, the social science, in order to take an elective course. And that is because we know we only require 3 years of mathematics, 3 years of social sciences. So we can always have those 3 years start sophomore year of high school. So the student has always the opportunity to take an elective class. Again, in this sample schedule, the student is in an English 1 class without the reading support and is taking foundations of problem solving. And the student chose to take for an elective class one of our engineering courses. So we're going to now go and see how that schedule would work if we had this schedule in the fall, which most likely we will not. This is again, the schedule that we currently have is a hybrid schedule for our current students and is very much subject to change. So what you can see here is that that student will be here in the mornings of Tuesday, Wednesday, and it will be here in person on the afternoons of Thursday, Friday, and then the other courses will be at home virtual. And Monday is a complete virtual day. So students have 8 periods, and what they happens is that in the rest of the days, Tuesday through Friday, they have blocks. And so half of the periods meet on those days. And as you can see, it's divided by even and odds. I don't want you to stress out about the schedule and trying to make sense of it. Again, it's just a quick example of how we have a combination of a straight 8 period day and also block scheduling, where the students will be here and be in the odd periods on Tuesday and Thursdays and the even periods on Wednesday and Friday. Okay, so again, 8 period days, just like I showed you before in this 8 period schedule. Not to worry about something like this because it may be subject to change. 6 classes plus PE. So step 3 and 4. So that all that was the step 2. I'm sorry, it's a huge step 2 because again, is that appointment with the counselors and you needed to know everything that you're receiving to make that appointment a reality. So now we have the step 3 and 4, which is the giving us the physicals with the vaccinations, proving residency, and also we need your child's birth certificate or passport. The contents of this folder that we used to give you when you were here in person, we will be mailed to you. So you would have on one hand all this important information that we want you to have, like when we're going to have an activities fair, which again is April 29th. And the NCAA rules for those of you who are athletes and want to play sports here, I mean, was and other information. And then on the other hand side of that folder or that envelope that we will be sending, you would have information about how to prove residency, and a remembering note. Please remember to send us a passport and a copy of your passport, not the original, and or a copy of your child's birth certificate. And then also information about the physical with an envelope where you can return the physical to the nurse's office. So those items will be mailed to you, and those will be steps 3 and 4. They usually don't have to be completed until the spring semester and early into the summer. So this is a little note about summer school. I know many of you are thinking about, hey, can I take a class in summer school? The summer school has 3 sessions. Session 1 is not open to incoming freshmen. So that's why in this slide, you have the information only for sessions 2 and 3. We don't know what courses necessarily are going to be offered this summer, but what we know for sure is that all of them will be virtual. We will not have in-person summer school. Typically, we have offered health, we have offered communication arts, we have offered other electives and or other core courses, but again, we still don't know. What we know and I'm going to encourage you to do is in mid-January, early February, visit the website for more information about summer school and how to register. The registration would be online registration. And the most important part of this presentation, your counselors. Please meet your counselors. Next to your counselor picture, you have this part of the alphabet that corresponds to that counselor. So if your last name starts with A through B, you have Miss Adams. If it starts from C to D, I, you have Mr. Ibrahimi, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to go over it because I know that you can see it in this presentation. These also, the breakout of the alphabet by counselor, will be in the letter that we're sending home over the holiday with how to set up the appointments with the counselor, so you know who is the counselor that you need to set up the appointment with. Again, in this slide now we have Miss Abraham, Miss Girix, Miss Bader, Miss Hart, and Mr. Hernandez. So we have 9 counselors because Miss Bader and Miss Girix are sharing a caseload. And last but not least, as I mentioned, we are very lucky to have our career coordinator and our college career admission specialist, Miss Manning and Miss Hanson. And I would like to ask Miss Manning very quickly if she can tell us about the video that will be posted and what the role for Miss Hanson and Miss Manning are here at Maine West.
Hello, everyone. I'm Amelia Manning, the Career and College Admissions Specialist at Maine West High School. The video that Dr. Rueda-Alvarez mentioned will explain to you a little bit about what happens in the Career and College Resource Center and how Ms. Hanson and I can help support you and your child as they begin their career exploration process in high school and start thinking about what options might look like for them after high school.
Thank you, Ms. Manning. And again, I encourage you to watch that video that will be posted on the website. We would not take the time right now in this presentation because it will be next to my presentation. And I encourage you to use these wonderful resources. Ms. Manning and Ms. Hanson create lots of programs for our students from freshmen through seniors to help them with the process. And you will, I know you will use them more and more as your child gets older and progresses through high school. But know that they are here to help you and to help your child. So when he graduates, they will have a good idea as to what they want to do and not just being start exploration in college, which can be quite costly. And the other video that will be posted is the electives video. Again, I'm not going to play the electives video right now. It's 9 minutes long, so it's very short video, and it showcases all of the electives that we offer here at Maine West High School. So I encourage you and your child to just sit together and watch the video. It would give them a very good idea as to what not only we have to offer, but how the classrooms look like, and they're getting even better reconstruction. But give them an idea as to what is it that they really want to take for electives here at Maine West High School. So if you watch the video, plus you read the descriptions of all of our electives, as I said, they will be posted in our website. They will be sent home to you. Your child and you will have a very good idea as to what to select for electives for next school year. And now, last but not least, this is a favorite part for all of my incoming freshman orientations. I have had the pleasure of doing 9 of them. And they always, the parents tell me how they love students and the student panel. So it is a great pleasure for me to have 3 students from Maine West High School come and serve as panelists and answer some of the frequently asked questions that we have had from students in the past. And so I'm going to ask Ms. Manning to please moderate our student panel. Go ahead, Ms. Manning.
Thank you, Dr. Alvarez. I'm Amelia Manning, and I am the Career and College Admissions Specialist at Maine West High School. I'm very excited to be talking with you tonight and 3 of our fantastic students at Maine West. You'll get to hear about different experiences at Maine West from Carlos, who is a sophomore, from Lexi, who is a junior, and from Latrice, who is a senior. So I'm going to start off with my first question, just asking you all to introduce yourselves for us, please. Let us know your year in school, your extracurricular involvement, and maybe just what you love about Maine West. So let's start with Latrice, our senior.
Hi, I'm Latrice, and like Ms. Manning said, I'm a senior at Maine West. And some things I'm involved in at Maine West is marching band. Specifically, I'm in the drum line. I'm also in Ascend Leaders with Mr. Hassman, Link Crew Commissioner for Mr. Alvord, and a lot of other things, but I'm not going to go way into it. So what I love about Maine West is that like our diversity, like compared to like other schools, like there's just like so many different like cultures and like there's ethnicities here that we get to like see everyone else's like culture, I guess, like I said, and see how everyone else like does certain things and certain traditions.
That's great. Latrice, Lexi, do you want to tell us a little bit about your experience?
Okay. Hi guys, my name is Lexi Blackwood. I am a junior here at Maine West. And some things I'm involved in is an organization called SOAR, which stands for Students Organized Against Racism. I am in Link Crew, Ascend, Varsity Club, Class Council, a lot of other things, and I was a varsity cheerleader here at Maine West. And what I love most about Maine West is probably the energy and the events, because anytime you go to an event at Maine West, you're never disappointed by the energy, anything. I can guarantee you, any football game, any event where you're getting to participate in any game, it's so hype, and I love it.
Oh, that's awesome, Lexi. Thank you. Carlos, would you take us away and introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, hi, I'm Carlos. I'm the sophomore. Some things I do at Maine West is I'm in cross country, track and field, mock trial, deck up, high school compliant, and of course Ascend. The thing I like most about Maine West is the students, because we have such a large body of students from, like, as Latrice said, a large diversity that you're guaranteed to meet someone every year. And so, like, and befriending people comes in really handy, especially if they're upperclassmen, because, like, they can drive you to places, say you have to go somewhere, or, like, they can give you answers to homework. That's what I like about Maine West. Thank you.
That's great. Those are such good points. So thank you all for introducing yourselves. My first, question for you, really digging in here, is about obstacles that you might have faced as a freshman. Would one of you please, just share with us an obstacle that you faced as a freshman at Maine West, and how did you overcome it?
I think I'll take that one. Okay, so as a freshman at Maine West, I was really scared to join anything, like clubs, sports, activities. I was really scared because I didn't know a lot of people. I knew upperclassmen would be there. Anything with the word upperclassmen really scared me because I didn't know anybody. I didn't want to be judged or anything. And another thing was everyone would go around, they'd be like, oh, finals. I'm like, what are finals? And they're like, oh, it's this big test at the end of the semester from each class. And I'm just so stressed and worried. And it was very hard to think about until I went to my teachers individually and they like completely explain like what are finals and how it's gonna go, and it was so much better. So they help you study, they help you do anything that you need to do.
Thank you, Lexi, for sharing that with us. I guess, kind of on a similar note, would one of you please share a piece of advice that you have for freshmen?
I think I got this one. So personally, as a senior, piece of advice I have for a freshman is make a schedule. Like, not just don't look at just your school schedule. Make a schedule for everything you do, like in your personal life as well. Like, I felt like that's what helped me out the most is like it's like just being very organized with the schedule. Like, I'm like, all right, I'll wake up at this time, brush my teeth at this time, dress up at this time, and then like you go to school, you control like the things that like you can control, and like you put in your schedule like things you can't control. Obviously, like school. Obviously, school is from like around 8:20 to like 3 o'clock ish. So you can't really control what time school actually is. So you just gotta make sure like you do school then. And like after school, you're like, all right, maybe for this amount of time, or this time, I'll do my homework, or maybe this time I'll just take a nap. You never know, but like making a schedule for yourself in general is also just a nice way to organize yourself, especially during this time.
Great advice, Latrice. Thank you. How about, if you could do freshman year all over again, start from the very beginning, what would you do differently, kind of knowing what you know now?
I'll take this one. Oh my gosh. One thing is probably sports. Sports. I wanted to join sports so bad, but I was so scared for no reason at all. I wanted to join, it was cheer or gymnastics, I think, but I did end up joining sophomore year. But yeah, I was so scared. And towards the end of the year, I did end up like joining 2 or 3 clubs, I think. But sports, I really would love to go back and join a sport if I could for freshman year. So try and get involved and join a sport. Trust me, it will help.
Okay, thanks, Lexi. My next question here, our incoming 8th graders, incoming freshmen, are going to be picking out their courses for next year fairly soon. What would you say to students as they're thinking about selecting their courses for next year?
I got this. So as you know, I was just a freshman last year. And honestly, I would say like just pick the best for you. I recommend like to take the accelerated courses, but like even if you can't handle that, you should still try because if you succeed, you can boost your grade up and everything. I mean, and even if you don't, it's fine. You still have 4 years to decide every single class you're gonna take. So you can honestly replace like the accelerated courses with like electives. There's so many options like culinary, robotics, engineering, and food, and so many others that I wish I could take personally. But I will definitely do that in the future.
Great, thanks, Carlos. And, on that note, we talked about grades a little bit. When does your GPA really begin? Why is it important? Would one of you like to tell us that in your own words?
All right, so I got this. Your GPA, or your grade point average, it literally begins kind of once you walk in. Once you walk in, well, we can't really walk into school now, but once you walk in, it's kind of when it starts. After your first semester of freshman year, when you get your first grades, that's actually kind of when it starts, and you kind of see like how you're just doing in all your classes. And it's just it's really important because this is probably something that colleges look at mostly, not mostly, but it's one of the most important aspects they look at for a person and as a student. So yeah, that's why GPA, it's really important once you walk into the school.
Thanks, Latrice. Great perspective there, especially as a senior. What would one of you say, are your teachers approachable? How do you recommend asking for help? How do you usually ask for help?
I got this. I would say if you have to contact your teachers, you should definitely email them, since especially for this times. Emails have been like the main way I've contacted my tutors this year if I need any help. But before that, I would just like walk into the classroom when they're not busy, of course. I would just talk to them. Some things might find right away, and some others they take forever. But if you do, just do it at a time that's best for all of you. I would recommend school hours. And some teachers are actually really approachable. Like they actually seek you out if they want to help you out. And yeah.
Great. Thanks, Carlos, for that advice. So we talked a little bit about extracurriculars towards the beginning. Why would you say, someone should choose to be involved in sports, clubs, any other activities at Maine West? Would one of you like to answer that?
All right. So it's so like, okay, the reason like I chose to like be in like this activities and sports and clubs I want to be in is because it's just like something you might love doing in the future. Like I like tested the waters with like Ascend and Link Crew, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it because they were kind of new to the school. So I was just like, you know what? If we don't like it, we can obviously just leave and just be like, it's not for me. But in the end, I actually did love it, and I did it for the next like 2 to 3 years of my high school career that I had left. And it's just you have like that feeling of like other people around you, like being involved in another sport or activity or club. It just feels like you're kind of like loved by everyone else in there, and it feels like a little bit of a family, and it feels just very nice to be surrounded by people who are also like in the same like boat as you with these same like maybe like you're in like culinary club or like cooking club, and you're around people and like the same interests as you, and maybe there's more to just like cooking you guys like to do, like maybe you guys have other interests that you guys could like just make more friends.
Thank you, Latrice. That was just so beautifully said. And as you would know with your college applications now, those extracurricular activities are also very, very helpful when it comes to filling out your applications and getting ready for your next step even after high school. But of course, extracurricular activities take up time, and so time management always becomes a question too. What would you guys say? Is it hard to balance your homework with all of the activities that you're in? How many activities would you recommend that a student get involved with?
Okay, the only time that I would say like balancing sports and clubs and different homework assignments would be like it become a problem if you don't manage your time properly. And people who procrastinate often find themselves in a hole that they cannot get out of because they sit there and they don't manage their time. Managing your time is probably A1, and it's so important freshman year because freshman year is what starts you off, and it helps you guide throughout the years to know, oh, well, if I do this next year, I'll know how to manage my time properly again because I've done it freshman year or again after sophomore year. And if you're going to be in a sport, I would say choose one each like season, because if you were to do two, then that would be very hard to balance. You can do little clubs in between the sports because your coaches are very flexible, and they try and like they can go around like, oh, you can be here for 30 minutes and then come to practice. So I would say join like 2 or 3 clubs while you're in the sport, and then have an off season, whether it's fall, winter, or spring, so you can like rest your mind for sports.
Thanks, Lexi. That's such good advice. So that concludes our questions for our panel. And thank you so much, Latrice, Lexi, Carlos. You guys provided some really great information for our incoming freshmen. And to our incoming freshmen and their families, thank you so much for watching this panel, and we will see you next year. Take care.
I hope that you enjoyed that panel as much as Miss Manning and I did. The kids are always amazing. And this concludes our presentation for tonight. Uh, we again welcome you, and if you have any questions, feel free to call, email, reach out. Class of 2025, we're very excited to see you here in the fall. Miss Manning?
We're very excited to see you, and thank you so much. Have a good night.
Good night.